Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. My name is, of course, Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram. Today we are reviewing the Marvel Legends Riders, and in front of me we have Black Widow. Now this is very exciting because I never thought Marvel Legends would give us vehicles, and this is one step closer to maybe a Quinjet, maybe Professor X's hover chair, maybe a Punisher war van. Who knows what Hasbro are thinking of giving us. They do lots of vehicles in Hasbro's Black Series line for Star Wars. So hopefully this is their first step into seeing how well they do. So if you want Marvel Legends to have more vehicles and go out and support this wave. In front of me you have Black Widow, very much based on her comic book look, as this is her most recent comic book logo. I did actually get that run from about 2015 through to 17 maybe, I can't remember. But yeah, she's looking good. Two alternative heads, even though I thought one would be windswept, but they both just look very generic. But we'll have a look at them. I think they are new sculpts. And yeah, a bike. Very, very interesting. So as you can see, big window box. I do apologise if my lighting is a little bit weird because it is quite a big box with a table than usual. On the side, probably can't see, but it's a picture of Black Widow. On the back though, however, you do get that promo picture that they first released when this was announced. A little bio that reads, "A sleek agent with the wheels to match, Natasha Romanova cruises into action as Black Widow." Some pictures of the bike and then the promo shot of Black Widow. Nothing really much else on the box apart from the pictures on the side that I can't show you because my table's too small. So let's get her open and have a look, shall we? Pow! Here is Black Widow out of the box with all of the box's content. Not many accessories, just that alternative head, and then of course the bike. First impressions are, I knew what I was getting. It's a bike with Black Widow. The figure's quite bland, not much to it. They should have gave us more accessories in my opinion for the price point. But the bike's looking good, better than I thought out of the box. Just on first impression, this kickstand's a little weak. Like, it doesn't always stay up by itself. So yeah, that's a bit frustrating. But let's look at the figure first, Black Widow. Now, we have recently had a comic book Black Widow in that classics vintage line that Hasbro give us, which is this one here. So I'll compare that one in a minute. But just in regards to this figure, it is very, very basic, all black, as you would see for a comic book Black Widow anyway. The bout is painted on. The wrist sort of gauntlet things are silver. I do believe they come off. Yep, they come off very easily. So if you do wanted to swap on for the old gold ones, you could do that. This first head, let's probably have a better close-up look of it, and I'll do the head swap as well. Here's a closer look at the first head that it comes packaged with. Just shorter hair basically, but it's fine. Not my favourite head out of the two. The hair looks decent enough with some decent paint detail on it, but I don't know if you can notice, or just my figure, but the head is just really loose. Like, wobble her around, like it's just really loose. Maybe that will work to my advantage when I've got her posed on the bike, but at the minute it's just a really loose neck. So let's pop the next one on, and they do pop on and off okay. As I said, just my joint, you probably can't see because the focus is blurred, but it's just really loose. Second head, there you go, you heard it click. Now let's get it to focus. Oh, and she's got a weird neck. Told you, it's really loose, people. Don't like it when my figures have loose joints. But this is the second head sculpt, and it's up to you if you prefer it to the second one. Basically, it's just longer hair. I think this is the more classic look for Natasha Romanova. Again, same sort of hair, painted detail with the red sort of wash on the red hair. But yeah, out of the two heads, as I said, considering it's a motorcycle, I do think they should have gave us a wind-swept sort of look, or even, as I said, a helmeted look, as she does wear a helmet in the comics. But yeah, you tell me which head you prefer. I think they're okay, but I do prefer the longer-haired Black Widow. Focus. There we go. Here is the Black Widow that came with a bike compared to that vintage wave Black Widow that I was talking about earlier. As you can see, the main difference is of this one has the sort of gold details while this one has the silver. I say details, but there really isn't a lot. It's just those wrist gauntlets and then the belts. This belt is a separate piece and you can get it off if you heat it up or put some hot water on it, and then you can slide it down. And these wrist pieces come off as well. So if you do prefer your Black Widow to have the gold sort of effects, which as I said, I do, you can swap them, because I do prefer her leather sort of jacket with the zip down and the trousers, well, the legs sort of a different mold. As you can see on this one, they're really skinny, really warped, and it sometimes just looks weird, where on this one it just looks a bit more like she's wearing her leathers ready to ride her bike. So yeah, genuinely up to you. You let me know which one you prefer, but I quickly want to show you the wrists do swap very simply. So let's just try one. Hands pop off, wrist parts go on. It is that simple. So yeah, you decide, do you prefer the silver or the gold? Up to you. Now let's swap that back. Worth to mention that obviously you can swap the head that come with the vintage wave Black Widow as well, if you do prefer that one. So yeah, as I said, I've seen a lot of people swap Mary Jane, some people swap the Jean Grey. It is genuinely up to you. There are a lot of red heads in the Marvel Universe, so it is genuinely up to you what head sculpt you use. But yeah, that is the vintage wave Black Widow head on this new body, and that looks pretty good, to be fair. But again, genuinely up to you, own personal preference. You can use any redhead hair, to be honest. I don't have the Dark Phoenix, unfortunately, so I can't compare that one, but I know that one comes with a few interchangeable heads. So yeah, let's get looking at the bike, shall we? Pow! So here it is, the very first Marvel Legend vehicle that I have from Hasbro. Now it's quite good, to be fair, better than I thought it was out of packaging. As you can see, it's got the suspension there at the back. As I said, the kickstand's quite weak, but you can get it to work. If you're just going to have it posed like that, you can get it to work. It's just, I wish it was a little bit stronger. But yeah, there's no obviously metal parts on the figure, no die cast, but you can see all the holes for the screws, which is a little bit frustrating. On this side, obviously you can't see them. You do get the little Black Widow logo there. It would have been good to have maybe some more painted detail on for the actual parts of the bike underneath, even if it was just silver with a bit of black sort of dry brushing over the top. But I'm sure you customizers can go crazy with that, with doing stuff like that. It would have been great with working lights as well, but again, a job for the customizers. Get some working LEDs underneath those headlights. In regards to the top of the bike, as I said, the handlebars do turn, so there is some articulation there for the bike, so you can have a posed, or even kids playing with a toy, they can get them moving around, because they are toys after all, people. You've got the speedometer there, you've got the gas sort of tank there, but there's no details, it's just red plastic, and there is a slight bit of texturing on the seat, so I don't know how well you can see that. Shall I zoom in a little bit, see if you can see those speedometers? I don't know how well you can see them with my light, but I do always appreciate those little effects like that on the figure. And as I said, no details on the gas tank, but there are a few it does sort of look like leather, but it's obviously just textured plastic. But again, no painted detail on the parts of the bike. The rubber wheels are a nice touch. I do appreciate it when you do get the rubber rather than the hard plastic. Both wheels turn really well. And as I said, there is suspension in the back of the car as well, a little spring underneath, which we appreciate that effort. So yeah, let's compare this bike to one of these bikes that I've got now. I just brought this off Amazon out of curiosity. This is apparently a 1/12 bike, Kawasaki. I don't know nothing about bikes, by the way, people. I drive a Nissan Micra, for God's sake. Yeah. So the Marvel Legends bike, the point I'm trying to make is the Marvel Legends bike is actually a little bit bigger than this 1/12 scale bike. So I'm not too sure what I would have preferred for size wise, but yeah, that's how the bike sort of scales up with an actual 1/12 scale replica bike apparently. So as you can see, it is a tiny bit bigger, which I'm not sure it's a good or a bad thing. You make your mind up. But this one does actually have die-cast pieces. But this one, as I said, this one does look good. It's a toy and it will fit in with your Marvel universe on your shelf. So let's see how well Black Widow actually sits on the bike, shall we? Pal, so here you go. As you know, I'm not the best at posing, but this is where we sort of would have appreciated some more articulation on a female figure, as there are no double jointed elbows, so it's a bit awkward to get up to pose. Obviously there's no waist crunch, but there is some movement in the waist, which we do appreciate. The knees, the legs as well, I wish they went a little bit further up so you could get her legs actually on the stand. It would have been really good if you had like actual peg holes where the feet are meant to go so you can get them permanently in. But if you do put her feet on either side where the poles are that stick out, it just means she's sort of obviously hovering a little bit, which is fine if you're going to have her maybe posed one hand on, one hand off, maybe shooting someone or something like that. Again, the ACBA community out there are going to get this into a lot better poses than me, but I do think this would have been a great opportunity for Hasbro to give us a better articulated female figure for our posing on the bike. But yeah, it works fine, people. The size is decent, it works well enough. But again, a windswept look would have been good for those poses, or even a helmet would have been good as well. But yeah, it does work well. Size is decent. So yeah, get posing and tag me on Instagram. Let me know how good you can get her to look, because my posing skills are not good at all. Pal, so final thoughts are, I do like the figure and I do appreciate Hasbro giving us vehicles for Marvel Legends. Like that's, so I was going to support the line regardless. I really wanted some vehicles for my little Marvel universe on the shelf. I just do think the price point is a little high for the figure, considering the lack of accessories. Just think, if you split the price in half, then for a normal figure you'd get a Build-A-Figure piece and more accessories than we got with this Black Widow, as we only got one interchangeable head, and then the bike itself didn't come with anything, no interchangeable parts or anything like that at all. So if the bike build was a little bit better quality, then maybe I wouldn't moan. But yeah, I don't know, the price point for me, that's probably my biggest nag. But again, I do appreciate we're getting vehicles. So Hasbro, as I said, I will pay whatever you want me to pay if you give me a 112 scale Quinjet or Blackbird for the X-Men, or X-Mansion gates, or let me build a diorama of the X-Mansion. Go crazy, Hasbro. We see you doing loads of stuff with Star Wars, and I know you're building that Jabba's yacht thing. Let's see something for the Marvel Legends line, because I have no doubt that the collector community would support that. So Hasbro Lab, get on it. But that's just me rambling on. As I said, talking about this Black Widow and her bike, I quite like it. Quite like it. So you let me know what you think in the comments below, people. As always, please check out the videos and hit that subscribe button, as we are on our way to 2,000 subscribers, which I appreciate, and may even do a giveaway. So yeah, as always, leave a comment, press that like, subscribe, and I shall see you on the next one.